Congresswoman Mayra Flores, you were elected in a special election partly because the people in this region are sick and tired, and they think you are going to make changes. Tell me what you see. You were born in Mexico and immigrated here as a child.
Yes, I was born in Mexico, so I do understand why a lot of people want to come here to the United States. It is the greatest country in the world, but I want every child, everyone, to have the same experience that I had coming into the United States. And that's why, for me, legal immigration is so important. It's important that Republicans and Democrats work together to improve the legal process so more good people are able to come here to the United States for the American dream, but do it legally. Unfortunately, illegal immigration is funding criminal organizations, and these immigrants are literally put through hell to come here to the United States. And why would we encourage illegal immigration knowing women have 60 to 80% chance of getting raped, children as well? We have a serious problem here in the United States with child sex trafficking. And if we want to stop that, we must secure our borders. This should not be political.
I want you to tell us later on in the show what life is like on the ground for your constituents who are actually affected by this illegal activity every day. We're going to speak with some ranchers coming up. But Mayra, tell us about life on the ground, because I spoke with one rancher who told me she can't even throw the garbage out without carrying her pistol. And her ranches and her property is being destroyed by these gotaways.
Everyone is having different experiences, and you're right, people are suffering here in South Texas because the immigration crisis that we have here, it's affecting not only South Texas, but the entire country. But what I'm seeing here is people are very concerned about also their families back home. So a lot of people have families in Tamaulipas, and they're not able to go visit their loved ones because of the criminal organizations. These criminal organizations have taken so much, not only from me, but from all of us here in South Texas. So it's really heartbreaking to see. I have a friend who owns a home right near the river, who constantly has knock on her door. So she doesn't feel safe anymore. Her husband works in the oil field, so she's constantly alone. And she had to leave her home and is now renting an apartment because she doesn't feel safe in her own home, and can't sell the home as well because no one will buy a home that is near the border.
I find it extraordinary, really, that these dangerous drug cartels are running the entree into America. I mean, it's their decision who comes in and who doesn't come in. They're charging, what, upwards of $40,000 a head if you come from China, $3,000, $4,000 a head from the Northern Triangle. I mean, tell us what you see.
I'm a Border Patrol wife, as you know, so it's really heartbreaking to see what our Border Patrol agents are going through, because they're not able to do their job successfully because of the policies that Biden is putting in place. And that is why it's so important that we put back in place the policies that were working. You know, again, this should not be political. I want the Biden administration to put the American people first, and that if he actually cares about immigrants, for him to secure the border, because we must defund the criminal organizations. We must defund the cartels. And the only way we're going to do it is by securing the borders. And it's really heartbreaking to see that the Democrat Party continues to encourage these policies. I really don't understand. I know, Henry, you're in a very difficult situation, but I do encourage you to keep pushing on this administration, because this is something that is hurting us all. It doesn't matter what side you're on. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. We're all American at the end of the day, and this is something that we should all be working together for the well-being of the American people.
And what do you think they think of when you see people on the terrorist watch list, when you see people who are getting in and we don't know their intentions? I mean, how many people on terrorist watch lists do you think are getting in, Congresswoman? What are you hearing? And your husband is in the middle of it as a border agent, doing a great job.
Oh, many people are getting into the United States that are terrorists that we don't even know of. But the ones that we know of, I mean, we've had over 50 just a few months ago, that in just 1 month alone. So this is something that it's very serious. And like Congressman Cuellar mentioned earlier, that a lot of people here have to carry guns. And then you see the Democrat Party just last week wanting to take away our Second Amendment in the middle of a serious border crisis. And that's why it's so important for us to protect that Second Amendment, especially here in South Texas, because of the current situation that we're going through. And I know that, we can only speak for ourselves, but we don't only speak for ourselves, we speak for all people here in South Texas. So we do have to put pressure pressure on the Biden administration and other House members in Congress to secure the borders. I mean, you have Vicente Gonzalez, who's been a member of Congress for many decades, for many terms here in South Texas, and yet embraces Biden's policies. And he's a member of Congress here in South Texas. So I think that, we can no longer just speak for ourselves. We have to speak for all people here in South Texas and continue putting pressure on this administration.
Maria,